Hi, everybody. Oh, let's adjust this. Okay. I'm Gary Lucas. It's Tuesday, March 9th, and I'm going to play for you for about a half an hour. And thank you for tuning in. I've been doing these concerts for nearly a year now. We're coming up on the first anniversary of lockdown, and there's a definite happy vibe in the air, I would say, and a spring in everybody's step because maybe we're on the verge of transitioning to a more open society, to quote George Soros. And anyway, even if not, it's nice because we've got some warm weather in New York. It's about 59 outside. It went up from below freezing overnight to near spring-like weather. So I got a spring in my step, and I hope you enjoy. Okay. Oh, that's a piece called The Opener of the Way, and it was on my second album for Tzaddik Records, Street of Lost Brothers. And I have to refer you to a book of that title. It's a book of short stories by a great Czech writer named Arnošt Lustig. And he's a contemporary of Havel's. He's very well known in the Czech Republic. He died a few years ago. For a while, he was the editor of Czech Playboy. But he had been in the camps, and so this book concerned life around the period of German occupation of Czech Republic, particularly Prague. And then there were some sequences in Theresienstadt, which is a camp that's still visitable. I visited there. It was kind of harrowing, and they have the banner Arbeit macht frei, work will set you free, over the entrance to the camp. This is my stomping grounds, actually, would be Eastern Europe per se, because both my mom and my dad, their families hailed from that region. On my mother's side, it was Poland, centered around Jedwabne. And on my dad's side, it was Bohemia. And as I mentioned before, there's some question whether or not his family actually came from what is now the Czech Republic, because at the time of emigration, it was Austro-Hungary, part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. So it might actually be contained in the borderland of Hungary at this point, but it's unclear. But anyway, I feel more Czech than anything, most likely. And I can't wait to get back there to visit. I want to also mention that it is the 30th anniversary of Faust Records. This is a label and a recording studio in Prague. It's situated in the Davidska area, which is a nice residential center of the city across the Charles River from the old town, Davidska. And Richard Metter has a great, fully functional recording studio. All sorts of people have recorded there. I know Keith Levine, who was the guitarist in Public Image, was there for a long time, working on an album or so. Killing Joke also were inhabiting that studio for a while. I definitely did some of my best recording there. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to Richard, because he's definitely one of the good guys insofar as he stood up for alternative music in a big way. For musicians, it's been a haven. Plus, you can work out a deal where you can stay in this beautiful pre-war building that he owns, and the studio is situated in the basement. Faust Records, okay, now, the Ghost of Prague was something we cooked up in 1996. He came to New York. He'd seen me play, I think, on my very first appearance at the Železna Club, which is in the old town off the square. And many of the Plastic People showed up. I had a history of playing with these guys, and if you know your avant rock history, they were the favorite band of Václav Havel's. And in fact, he'd been in prison with some of them. They were pretty much banned all over the country for, I'd say, more or less the subversive nature of their lyrics, which on closer examination may not really read as I mean, they were freewheeling, poetic lyrics pretty much written by a Czech poet, Egon Bondy, a lot of them. And their famous early album was called Egon Bondy's Lonely Hearts Club Band, B-A-N-N-E-D, because they were banned. But anyway, they flourished, and I think they did a concert in their latest incarnation sometime this year. Great band. I played with them at the Zappanale. I played with them here in New York at Irving Plaza. I played with them in the Kitchen. Bunch of concerts. And, well, anyway, I digress. So, and I posted this promo GIF that was done up by my friend down under AAA. Well, I don't know if I'm supposed to credit him anymore, but anyway, I hope he doesn't mind. And it was a famous photo, hi Lulu, of Tesla, and with electricity and sparks shooting out from around him. I think it's the photo he's seated in a chair. So AAA did some manipulation, which would lead many of you maybe to suspect that I was going to play electric today. But at the 11th hour, I decided it was just easier. Not only that, I want to keep an eye on this 9-man work crew out here. I got to show you, I'll tell you that. They've been toiling, this time with masks on. This is a good sign. On the roof of this yellow building over here. I don't know if you can see it yet. And I don't know what the heck they're doing. I suspect it was a hot tub for Hugh Jackman because he lives there, but maybe not. I don't know. But they're caulking and sanding. Maybe they're putting in a deck. But there seemed to already be a deck. For the life of me, I don't know where they need 9 people, but they're actually working away today, which is good. And hi, guys. The other place doesn't seem to have any activity bestirring it. But like I say, it's a beautiful day. I might open the windows again because it's nice to get in the river breeze and to feel like spring is coming. Spring is just around the corner, and maybe, just maybe, we'll be able to breathe easier again and discard, well, I wouldn't say discard those masks yet, no. But just, feel better about hanging out a little bit more than we have been. You may have noticed I got some new strings on this thing. But it hasn't yet reached that sweet spot. There's something, there's some shiny sound that emanates from it. With a little more sparkle, but... Alright, so let's do it. Okay. Okay. Dance with Me. That's the provisional title of that piece. I was kind of writing a song with a singer who disappeared. Don't they always do that? This is enough to make you want to sing your own songs as much as possible. All right, so what am I reading? Well, I just got in these two books that I'm dipping into right now. I'm on a Luc Sante kick. He's an excellent writer. I've been aware of him for years, and it turns out he's a good friend of my good old friend, Felice Rosser. And this one is sort of an exercise in autobiography called The Factory of Facts. And it's experimental writing in a way. It's kind of a send-up on the memoir genre. For instance, the opening chapter is like 6 different accounts of his birth and early history, and they all differ wildly. But they're presented one after another in a row. And that was what I was reading up to about 3 a.m. last night until I dozed off. But it's a bit Tristram Shandy-ish, if you know this famous book by Lawrence Stern. It's kind of a shaggy dog memoir, in other words, with an unreliable narrator. Except it's purportedly all true, but I don't know, there are like 5 different narratives going on there in the top. It'd be interesting to see how this resolves. And I just got this in a minute ago. And this is No Room at the Morgue by Jean-Patrick Manchette, who, what a great cover, eh? Manchette is a modern noirish writer based in France who wrote some really good twists on classic pulp literature and themes of people like James M. Cain, Dashiell Hammett, and later on Jim Thompson, Charles Willeford, William Lindsay Gresham. But they have an extra added X factor going on in his writing. He's quite good, and I've read several of his books. This is New York Review of Books Press. Always good. I recommend them. You can't go wrong ordering pretty much anything that they published. And this memoir is a vintage. Hey, Luc Sante has been on quite a few different publisher tips. And, well, anyway, I'll give you another book report when I get farther on into them. But like all of my reading, I kind of rotate them on the turntable, as it were. There's another book that I've been investigating, a biography of Arthur Rimbaud by Benjamin Ivory, who interviewed me for the Forward newspaper. I'm still trying to get my subscription hooked up again. It's maddening how many things are turning on and off before your eyes once you think you've signed up for a revolving subscription, which is what I thought I'd done, but I can't seem to get a response out of these guys in a written or in a telephonic message, which is frustrating, but there you go. I hope it resolves itself soon. There could be some worse problems going on. And what else? Oh, please, you guys, if you are searching for the perfect cup of coffee, please visit. It's right around the corner from here. Great store that's called, on the face of it, Cafe Panino. They also have really good sandwiches. But in our neighborhood, we've determined that they really have the most reliable cup of joe, of which I think I'm going to have a gulp right now. Excuse me. I'm kind of a 2-cup-a-day guy. It's very good. Very friendly folks. And maybe soon you'll be able to go in there and eat again, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, as it were. I'm putting the cart before all those cliches. I think it's best to err on the side of caution, don't you? I gotta have something done about this low E string. It's bothering me. It just rattles and... the sirens out there. Le sirène de fête. No, it's an ambulance. Oh well. Or I hope that person's okay. Now, before I go, I wanted to say the Wyndham Lewis Society, of which I've mentioned here, it's a really very, very educational and fun place to exchange ideas based on the writings of Lewis, which I recommend, because even if you don't agree with many of his philosophical positions or political statements, it's always provocative reading, and he was kind of a shape-shifting intellect anyway. And after making several pronouncements in the 20s and 30s, which unfortunately pigeonholed him as a right-winger, he came around right before he died and wrote several volumes in praise of a multicultural, multinational world order, a big tent philosophy, in other words. So I think his heart was in the right place overall, but definitely a stimulating read, whatever you can pick up on him. And the guy wrote about 43 books. Most are now not in print, but apparently Oxford University Press is committed to republishing them. The last go-round was through Black Sparrow Press on the West Coast. But anyway, they're going to have a meeting, a Zoom meeting, if you're interested. I think it's March 20th. And you can find the Wyndham Lewis Society online. And the topic is going to be a discussion of the book Tar, which was his first novel. And famously, there's two different editions. There's the classic 1918 version, and then he revised this book in 1957. And most of the Lewis aficionados believe the original iteration was the superior version, and I'm one of them. So I hope that I'm going to check it out, though, with Joe Cottrell, who's the secretary of the organization, to see if that's what's under discussion. But if you can get a hold of that, it's quite a good read. And all I have to say about it is Lewis took the opposite tack from his friend James Joyce. He was good friends with T.S. Eliot, James Joyce, Ezra Pound, and people like that. Dylan Thomas later on, Ford Madox Ford. But his theory of literature was based more on external perceptions of the surface of things, and he was he was vigorously opposed to the confessional gush, let's say the interior monologue. He thought that it really didn't serve literary purposes. So his books are quite a wild ride to read, and they're not to everyone's taste, but this one is quite good. And on that note, I'm going to conclude. Also, I just got a package in the mail, which I haven't unpacked yet, from Ace Farron Ford. And I think it has something to do with another friend of mine, Maurice Jones. But I can't wait to open it up and sample the contents. And I'll share them with you next time. And until such time as that, please stay safe. Yeah, wear that mask. Don't do anything foolish. And anyway, love you guys, and I'll see you on Thursday, same time, same place. Okay, be well.